Welcome to the second edition of the Chiropractic IQ Marketing Wellness Program. Today's topic is building a great chiropractic website, what you really need to know. We will be covering the essential information you need to know when building a website for your practice. We understand that for many chiropractors, building a website can be a very foreign and confusing exercise, but it doesn't have to be. We have stripped apart the full web development process and put it back together without all the internet jargon that no one really understands. Remember, building a great website can be a highly rewarding experience, driving a wealth of new patients to your practice. The first question we need to answer is, why would you consider a website for your practice in the first place? Consumer behaviour is changing fast with the emergence of the internet as a preferred method for patients trying to find out about you and your practice. To find you online, quite simply, you need a website. But whatever you do, don't build a website for the sake of having a website. You must build a website that produces results for your practice, and that means more patients through your door. So where do you start? Firstly, you are going to need a domain name. A domain name is quite simply your website address. Like our website address is chiropracticiq.com.au. You need to consider what is the right domain name for your practice, and to make it easy, you can send an email to info@chiropracticiq.com.au with your business name and your location, and we'll check which domain names are most desirable for you. We'll send you a report on the preferred domain names to register, and if it's the right choice for you, we'll register them for you. It's that easy and obligation free. Once you have your domain, it is time to start building your website. And as you can imagine, not all websites are created equal. I strongly recommend that you work with a marketing professional when developing your website, and the reason for this is quite simple. People browse websites for tomorrow's purchasing decision rather than today's, and there is a lot of on-page marketing that contributes to converting a browser into a buyer. There is a huge difference between a graphic designer that calls themselves a web developer and a website marketing professional. We've all heard sad tales of business owners lamenting the failings of their websites. The reason they failed? Generally, they didn't engage their customers and/or they never got found on the web. And the reason for this is that they weren't armed with the right knowledge in the first place. Developing the right website involves building it for two purposes. Firstly, for your customers, and secondly, for search engines like Google. So how do you develop for Google? Search engine marketing is a big subject, and we will cover attracting the most people to your website in future sessions. For now, there is no point in attracting hundreds of potential new patients to your website if your website fails to deliver the right balance of information and credibility to convert a browser into a buyer. As a chiropractor, you need to convey a level of confidence and professionalism that inspires people to want to find out more about you and then take action. How often have you gone to a website and immediately moved on because it gave you the impression of being inferior and second-rate? So when developing a website for Google, make sure it is built using coding that search engines recognise. There are many developers still building websites using redundant technology because they haven't made the investment to learn the new coding that best communicates with search engines. So what is this coding? I promise no internet jargon, but this is something you need to know and remember. Generally speaking, your website should be built on a CSS or HTML platform. This is the coding that best communicates with search engines. If you can confirm that your website will be built with this coding, that's really all you need to know about that. So what about all the fancy animations that you see on websites? Most of this is known as flash animation. Your website can have elements of flash animation built into it, such as an engaging image rotator in the header that rotates through a series of images and messages. Or you can have a video streaming on your website through a flash player, but I wouldn't recommend any more than that. Sometimes you'll come across a website that has a landing page, like those intro pages with a welcome animation and the enter here button. Avoid these at all costs. For one, Google sees this as your homepage and understands it as a page that has no content and won't rate your site very highly. Plus, your patients aren't really interested in sitting through some tiresome animation that a website developer has built just to show off his skills. Your patients want to get straight to the information they are looking for in the least amount of clicks possible. So what should you be looking for when adding that bit of creativity into your website? First of all, do your research. Have a look around at your online competitors. You will identify some good and bad points that will be applicable to your practice. Better still, go to www.chiropracticiq.com.au and check out the website styles that can be tailored to reflect the unique character of your practice. Image rotators and videos are great for delivering a really personalised message and for capturing attention of potential new patients, and are easier to integrate than you might think. Take the time to get involved in the process. It is a great opportunity for you to reflect on your entire practice marketing and identify further opportunities to integrate your online marketing into your entire marketing strategy. Have you ever heard of navigation predictability? One of the biggest mistakes that people make when building a website is to get overly complicated with the menu. A simple, clean menu that is easily identified is essential in keeping patients on your page and leading them through a process of making contact with you. We call this navigation predictability. Websites are not supposed to be complex. The best websites are always the most simple in terms of navigation. It's really simple. Make it really easy for potential patients to find what they want, or what you want them to find. You see, it's all in the strategy. So what about copywriting? Once you have your site built in a way that search engines can read, be content rich. Google loves websites that have a lot of descriptive content in them. You need to strike a balance where you have a lot of content so it can be read by search engines, but not too much that your patients look at your site and feel overwhelmed. Google is a great search engine because it delivers great search results, and if your website is recognised by Google as the optimal solution for a search for chiropractors in your area, you will appear at the top of the Google search so potential patients can find you online. Content-rich copy in your website helps Google recognise the search friendliness of your website. Interestingly enough, it is equally important to be direct for your patients. Get to the point, make your offer bold and prominent, and show your customers exactly where they can go to make contact or leave their details. You can write the reams and reams of content required to convey your chiropractic message on your website yourself, or you can save time by adopting a system like Chiropractic IQ, where all the tedious professional copywriting work has been done for you. You simply adjust it to reflect the individuality of your practice. Video is quickly becoming the in thing for websites. Technology and broadband speeds have finally caught up to make video a great option for welcoming, educating and converting new patients. And the great thing is, you can clearly convey an entertaining and personal message to prepare your patients for when you meet. You just have to decide if it is the right medium for you and your practice. Chiropractic IQ has some great video solutions to drive more patients to your practice. How about credibility on the web? You know you have a great practice that delivers a great service, but how do you convey that to a potential patient searching online? Regulations dictate that testimonials are not appropriate, so we'll focus on the other factors that deliver a message of credibility. You want your customers to gain an immediate impression that your practice is the place they want to choose to take care of their health with chiropractic. It's a very personal choice. In the fits of pain, this message may be obscured for some patients, but if they are immediately made to feel welcome with a level of confidence, you are well on the way to converting a new patient. So how do you create a feeling of confidence? Put yourself in the shoes of your customers. Create an experience for your customers that has the visual appeal and engaging messages to attract your customers to take action whilst reflecting the individuality of your practice. The good thing is, you make the decision on what is credible to your practice. If you want a great educational video, you have a great educational video. If you want a prominent map and a dominant phone number so your customers can find you fast, that's what you get. It's certainly that easy with Chiropractic IQ. Give potential patients every reason to communicate with you further and no reason to step off the buying train.